April 1st, 2023. The effects of high-stakes testing on anxiety levels of elementary school students. University of West Alabama. Current trends, early childhood education. Jennifer Terry Brandon. High-stakes testing versus student anxiety. As the fast pace of the world around us has increased, so has the demand for student academic achievement. Students are expected to learn quicker, more information, and continue to retain what they have learned. The passing of the No Child Left Behind laws has also pushed for an increase in proof that academic achievement is being reached. The academic world has decided to use high-stakes testing to measure students' learning. The side effect of these measures, many studies are showing, is that students are experiencing higher levels of anxiety in academics and on into adulthood. Problem. The problem observed is that many students are experiencing higher levels of anxiety due to the higher demands of achievement on state tests. The problem this quantitative study will address is the effect high-stake tests have on anxiety in elementary school students in grades 4 through 6. Purpose. The purpose of this research is to find evidence that high-stakes testing causes an increase in anxiety for elementary school students. This quantitative research aims to investigate the impact high-stakes testing has on anxiety levels in elementary school students grades 4 through 6. Hypotheses. What impact does high-stakes testing have on elementary student anxiety levels? Null. No change will occur in student anxiety when high-stakes testing occurs. Alternate. Anxiety levels will increase in elementary school students when high-stakes testing occurs. Support data. After studying many articles in academic journals, data has shown increased anxiety during high-stakes testing. Figure 1 shows increased anxiety due to the high-stakes testing versus regular testing in elementary school. The graph shows increased anxiety levels during high-stakes testing versus regular in-class testing in the academic elementary school setting. Additional data. The data in Figure 3 shows evidence of increased anxiety among elementary school students when testing. Summary. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, from 2016 to 2019, 9.4% of children ages 3 to 17 years, approximately 5.8 billion children, experience anxiety every year. The No Child Left Behind laws has created an atmosphere that students must show specific academic growth each year. The instrument used to measure academic growth is high-stakes testing. As high-stakes testing has increased across the country, there is significant evidence that there is an increase in anxiety among high school and elementary school students. Studies also show that if the anxiety issues are not addressed, they can follow the child into adulthood, where the person will continue to have issues with performance and other life learning skills. Theoretical Framework, Vygotsky. Vygotsky believed standardized tests were an inadequate measure of the child's readiness for further learning. He contended that standardized tests measure the child's current independent knowledge while overlooking the child's potential capability to learn new material successfully. Basing what children have learned solely on a high-stakes test completely undermines what they have truly learned and what they could continue to learn. In theory, we are causing elementary students needless anxiety over one test when it cannot truly measure what a child can and will learn. Academic achievement. In the past, students' academic achievement was based on in-class testing scores, projects, and various assignments. Student achievement was influenced by everything they had accomplished during the school year. However, with the increased demand from the public, high-stakes testing is now the measurement of academic achievement. Student learning is not based on what they have accomplished throughout the school year, but on what they make on one high-stakes test at the end of the school year. Due to this, students are experiencing higher levels of anxiety. These anxiety levels, if unchecked, will cause the students to continue to suffer throughout their academic careers and possibly into adulthood. Best practices. The steps used to test our hypothesis comes from the Anxiety Scale for Elementary Students, TASE. It is a new multidimensional test anxiety measure explicitly designed for U.S. elementary school populations. 4 test factors are identified: physical symptoms associated with test anxiety, concerns of significant others' reaction to poor performance, avoidance and fidgety behaviors one experiences in testing situations, and worrisome thoughts about failing exams. The test can measure students as young as 2nd grade. The test also considers age and gender. The purpose of the study is to determine if high-stakes testing affects anxiety levels in elementary students. By using the TASE, researchers can determine what factors of the testing are causing anxiety in students. Once the factors are identified, steps can be taken to help alleviate anxiety in elementary school-age children before high-stakes testing occurs. Population sampling. The researchers will use a sampling of students from Moody Middle School. The ages and genders of students in 4th through 6th grade will be used in the study. The children will be randomly selected. This research will be conducted through a quantitative study using a quasi-experiment. A total of 250 students will be chosen. The sampling technique was specifically designed for elementary students in the U.S. The sample chosen will come from the school the researcher works at. Parental consent will be obtained before the study, as well as student consent. The data will be for the researchers' eyes only. The population sampling will come from 174 4th graders, 2 Asian, 25 African American, 135 Caucasian, 10 American Indian, and 2 unclassified. 5th grade, 168 students, 5 Asian, 23 African Americans, 132 Caucasian, 7 American Indian, 1 Pacific Islander. Grade level 6, 177 students, 1 Asian, 24 African American, 144 Caucasian, 4 American Indian, 1 other, and 3 unclassified. There will be both boys and girls in the sampling. Sequence of the study. Steps taken to conduct the study will be parental permission and student permission. Before each test, the TASE will be administered. It is a 30-item multidimensional measure based on recent conceptualizations of the test anxiety construct. It has 4 test subscales and a total test anxiety scale. The researcher will also record observation of the sample group before, during, and after each test. The data will be collected 4 times in the academic school year 2023-24. The data will be collected during the fall, winter, and spring AIMS test administration and collected during the state ACAP test in the spring. Key terms. Key terms that will be used throughout this research project are as follows. ACAP, Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Programs, Alabama's form of state standardized testing. AIMS Web Plus testing, the county and district form of standardized testing. TASE, the 30-item multidimensional measure. Anxiety is the mind and body's reaction to stressful, dangerous, or unfamiliar situations. It is the sense of uneasiness, distress, or dread one feels before a significant event. High-stakes testing, any test used to make important decisions about students, educators, schools, or districts, most commonly for accountability. The attempt by federal, state, or local government agencies and school administrators to ensure that students are enrolled in effective schools and being taught by effective teachers. Variables and instrumentation. The control group of variables will be the sample of students that do not receive the TASE during the AIMS test in the fall, winter, spring, or the ACAP test in the spring. The dependent variable will be the students that receive the TASE during the AIMS fall, winter, and spring tests, and the ACAP spring test. Instrumentation. The instrumentation used in this study are the TASE and the researcher's observations of the sampling during testing. The researcher will record any signs of anxiety in the testing time approaches. These items may include fidgeting, stalling to get ready for the test, excuses as to why the sample could not take the test, and any facial expressions or physical movements that suggest worrying or upset. Data collection and analysis. Data will be collected and analyzed from the TASE administration and the recorded observations of the researcher. Following the study, the data collected from the quasi-experiment design will determine if the hypothesis is true. The purpose of the study is to investigate the impact of high-stakes testing on the anxiety levels of elementary school students. Reviewing the data collected will verify the hypothesis of the study. Limitations. Limitations of the study may be that the sample is feeling anxiety on the day of the test for other reasons. Other reasons include being late for school, not eating a proper breakfast, or arguing with their siblings or parents. Another limitation of the study may be that the sampling needs to be more extensive and varied. Most of the students in this sampling are Caucasian. Anxiety is affecting our children from many different angles. However, high-stakes testing is one area we can precisely identify. The use of high-stakes testing can be adjusted so that our students do not continue to feel anxiety due to testing. This study aims to prove that high-stakes testing causes unnecessary anxiety in our students. Once this problem is identified, we can alleviate our children's anxiety during high-stakes testing. References are International Education Studies and Wiley Periodicals, Inc. Appendix A is permission asked from the Moody Middle School Principal Jamie Gengrosso. Appendix B is the consent form used to ask for permission to conduct the study from the University of West Alabama, Dr. Colin.